Good morning, brothers and sisters in Christ, and anyone this video is finding you. Today, we are going to be reading from the Gospel of John, and the verse of the day is John 3:16. As I do on Fisher Women of Moms, I read the entire chapter for you because not everybody has a Bible. I'm reading from the Scriptures Bible this morning because this is the Bible that I have my digital app set to. So I read that Bible on my digital app, and also this is the one that I bring to church. And it's just, everybody's so familiar with chapter 3 from the Gospel of John that it hits differently when the Hebraic names are there. The Gospel of John, and it's chapter 3. So chapter 3 opens up with Nicodemus going to visit Jesus. So Nicodemus is going to visit Jesus, and he has lots of questions. So Nicodemus was a Pharisee at the time, a very educated rabbi in Jerusalem. So he taught most of Judah and most of the area, and he was just a very highly respected man. And it picks up with him visiting Jesus in the darkness of night. So he's going to visit Jesus at nighttime, and he has a battery of questions for Jesus. So he's asking him in verse 2. Nicodemus says to Yeshua, "Rabbi, we know that you are a teacher who comes from Elohim, for no one is able to do the signs that you do if Elohim was not with you." And Yeshua answers him, and he says, "Truly, truly, I say to you, unless one is born from above, he is unable to see the reign of Elohim." And Nicodemus is like, "What are you talking about? Like, how could that happen?" So he asks him, and Yeshua explains the difference, because he goes, Nicodemus is like, "Well, you want me to climb back into my mom's womb and be born again?" Like, he doesn't understand. And a lot of the other translations are talking about the being born again, but in Yeshua, he answers Nicodemus pointedly, and he says, "I say to you, unless you are born of water and the Spirit, he is unable to enter the reign of Elohim. That which has been born of the flesh is flesh, and that which has been born of the Spirit is spirit." And then he says in verse 7, "Do not marvel that I said this to you. You have been born from above," because Jesus had already answered, "Well, I'm born from above," to him. And then he talks about the wind. "The wind blows where it wishes, and you hear the sound, but you don't know where it comes from or where it goes. So is everyone who has been born of the Spirit." And Nicodemus, like, jaw drop moment, and he's like, wow, like, he doesn't, like, he gets it, but he doesn't understand. And he's asking, and Yeshua is telling him, he goes, "We speak," in verse 11, he's like, "We speak what we know and what we witness and what we have seen, but you don't receive our witnesses." So he's telling him, he's like, us normal, regular folk, we come and we're telling you are a teacher, Rabbi Nicodemus, you're one of the most famous teachers in the area. And like, the people come and tell, like, I mean, this stuff is as true today as it was 2,000, 3,000 years ago. So many of us are of the Spirit. So many of us are chosen and are being woken up to the gifts that we were given when we were knitted together, created in our mother's wombs, and we were born in the water, the amniotic fluid. There's the water. And then as we are waking up to all of this, our birth in the Spirit is here now too. And we're over here and we're sharing. And because we don't look like the Christian, God's building an army. Like, these people who are coming up, they don't look like the Christian that you are looking for. Because we were forged in fire for such a time as this. And as we share, we get the eye. And then we're sharing with our leaders, and they don't see it. This is what he's telling Nicodemus. You don't see it when we're telling you. How are you going to understand if you can't see the earthly things? How are you going to understand the heavenly matters? Blown away he was. Verse 14, "As Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so the Son of Man has to be lifted up, so that whoever is believing in him should not perish but possess everlasting life." Verse 16, "For Elohim so loved the world that he gave his only brought forth Son, so that everyone who believes in him should not perish but possess everlasting life. For Elohim Elohim did not send his Son into the world to judge the world, but that the world through him might be saved. He who believes in him is not judged, but he who does not believe is judged already, because he has not believed in the name of the only brought forth Son of Elohim. This is the judgment, that the light has come into the world, and man loved the darkness rather than the light, for their works were wicked. For everyone who is practicing evil matters hates the light and does not come to the light, lest his works should be exposed. But the one doing the truth comes to the light, so that his work is clearly seen, that they have been with Elohim.